G'day there guys, showing the haters how it's done by hating myself the most. It's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some bloody good stuff. Thank you. Posted by user Imaginary Chemical 8, titled, Am I the a-hole for getting mad about my boyfriend's guy nights? So, me and my boyfriend C have the same friend group. There's 5 guys and 3 girls, including myself, who are all dating guys in this group. For context, I was introduced to the group 4 years ago, and I started dating C over a year ago. He joined a year before we dated. Anyway, onto the story. So the boys in my friend group have started a thing called Guys Night, where they go out and do everything we all do together, but without us girls. Here's the thing. All of my friends are the boys. I don't know the girls in the group too well, and while I have friends outside the group, I'm nowhere near as close with them as I am with this group. They say they need to spend some quality time with their friends, and that if I went, they would have to invite their girlfriends too. And it's not every so often. It's every 2 weeks on a Saturday, which is the one day I can go out. So basically, while my boyfriend goes out with all my friends, I have to be stuck at home by myself. And what's worse is when we all do hang out, they constantly bring up stuff that happened on Guys Night, saying, you had to be there. This has been going on for months. Last night, my boyfriend came over to mine from the Guys Night really happy, and was texting his friends when I asked him why I couldn't go. He made a vague gesture at my chest and crotch, saying I wasn't a guy. I then asked him why he couldn't skip it to spend the night with me, and he rolled his eyes. I lost it. I started crying and screaming at him, calling him an a-hole for allowing me to be completely isolated when I've told him how crappy it is. He ended up leaving and called me a bear. He's staying with one of our friends, who's saying I was being the a-hole for yelling at him that way. The girls all agree with me though, and I don't know if I should apologize. Edit, I feel like everyone is confusing what I'm saying. I'm not mad that he has his own hobbies. That's amazing. I'm just upset that I'm being excluded because of my gender from my friends who I introduced him to. I've been told explicitly this by him and his friends. Also, we don't live together, and I only see him a few times a week. Edit 2, I should also add my boyfriend sees all his friends during the week, but they schedule guys' nights on the one night I can go out. As I said in a comment, I see him 2 to 3 times a week, and he sees them at least 4 times, 5 on guys' night. I see my friends once a fortnight. Considering the circumstances in those edits, I see you're justified in being upset about not spending time with the friends when they all get together. Potentially this is a rock and a hard place situation, because if the girlfriends found out, it would be a double standard for sure. I don't know a good solution to this one, but you definitely aren't doing anything to be an a-hole here. Venting your frustration and seeking that connection with your group that he gets in spades and you barely ever get is not an a-hole thing to do. So yeah, you're not the a-hole. Now in the comments, MME Brightside says, not the a-hole, and I can't believe how many people are being dicks about it after having misread your post and with you clearly stating multiple times in the comments, 1. You don't have a problem with him hanging with the guys per se, 2. You don't live together, and 3. You're upset because literally the only time you have free to spend with your friends happens to fall on the same night you are being excluded from the friend group. You are not the a-hole. But the people posting here that you are, without taking the time to think critically before responding to beat you up, are the a-holes. And if your guy can't see that, he is selfish. If your guy friends can't see that, get new friends because they suck. Good luck. OP replies, thank you for looking at it objectively. I appreciate that. I mean, if the one person out of 15 telling you this answer is the one you think is objective, and you're just arguing with everyone else, you're not actually looking for opinions or advice. You just want affirmation, which is not the point of the sub. And OP replies, that isn't what I meant. But everyone seems to be arguing about things that aren't true. The truth is, I can see my boyfriend and my friends once a week, and they choose to instead have a boys' night. They hang out during the week as well. We don't live together. I see him maximum 3 times during the week, and 2 if he goes straight home after the boys' night. Why can you only see them once a week? I said in previous replies that I work full-time, and I'm a carer to my grandpa. I can go out Saturdays as my grandpa's friend comes over. Sounds like your boyfriend should come visit once or twice a week, get to know your grandpa, and spend some time with you. All in all, I'd say you're stretching yourself real thin, but he isn't doing much to accommodate you. Sounds like he's 5 times more committed to his BFFs than to his girlfriend. AmiTheA says, everyone sucks here, but only slightly. This is just an awful situation all around. You can't expect to be included in everything. They are allowed to have a boys' night out. But I do suggest you find some new friends though, as they clearly don't look at you as a close friend the same way you look at them. If they purposefully exclude you half the time you can go out, that should tell you a thing or two about how they feel about you. Also, your boyfriend sounds like an a-hole. Gesturing to your body and using that as an excuse just made my blood boil. I absolutely hate it when people do that. So yeah, find new friends, people who actually care about you and want to spend time with you. And OP replies, I'm trying, but I'm struggling in the pandemic. The thing is that my friends say they want to invite me, but if they do, then they'll have to invite their girlfriends. Why do they have to invite their girlfriends? If you've been in the group longer than your boyfriend, it's natural that you would be invited. Looks to me like you're just a +1 to them. Because the girlfriends are annoyed at it as well and want to go. Sucks to be their girlfriends. So they're excluding you because their girlfriends can't allow them a day to just hang with their friends, including yourself? That's some weak source logic, not the a-hole. And now on to the update. So about 2 weeks ago, I posted here asking if I was the a-hole for getting mad at my boyfriend for his guy nights. The post didn't get a lot of attention, but the attention it did get was controversial, and there was a lot of differing opinions, so I figured I'd do an update as a lot has happened. So after I posted, I ended up contacting the girlfriends in the group to see what was up, and we started noticing some fishy stuff. Their boyfriends and the guys in the group would say the exact same things to them as they did to me. Stuff like, we'd invite you, but then the other girls will want to come. We also figured out that there were other nights that all the guys were free, but they wanted to do Saturdays for some reason. One of the girls, H, was suspicious for this and many other reasons, so she checked her boyfriend's phone. I don't condone what she did at all, by the way, but in this circumstance I excuse it. While looking, she found a group chat called Boys' Night, which she had never heard of. She was super suspicious at this point and clicked it to be greeted by a bunch of very interesting messages from the boys in our group. Well, guess what? Turns out guys' night was really go to a pub and cheat on your girlfriend night. The message was in reference to one of the girls my boyfriend was sleeping with last week. In fact, all the other guys except one were cheating, while the other knew but kept quiet. Another lovely discovery from the chat was that he hasn't been using protection with the other women or with me, birth control. Meaning, not only has he been cheating, he's also been putting me at a high risk of an STD, while also risking mine and my elderly grandfather's life because of the pandemic. Needless to say, we've broken up and I feel better for it. But right now, I'm friendless, single, and waiting on STD results, which doesn't feel fantastic. So yup, definitely not the update I was hoping to do, but life clearly doesn't turn out the way you plan. Edit. Wow, I really was not expecting this response. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm at work at the moment and will try to respond as much as possible, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. And also, thank you for the award. I'm very overwhelmed by all the kindness. Edit 2. Thank you again for all the kindness. I just thought that I'd add a few things. 1. The pandemic isn't bad where I am, in Oz, but when we hang out, we social distance with masks. You can't social distance during sex, which is where my fear of the pandemic comes from. 2. One of the girls dumped her boyfriend, who wasn't cheating but knew, and the other took him back. He was cheating. And finally, 3. I'm STD free. I got a call an hour ago and am so completely relieved. Now I can start to move on. Now in the comments, Miss Hillrose says, "This sucks, but at least you know now and can be better off without him, and the rest of your so-called friends. Maybe you could try and make friends with the ex-girlfriends now." I will say though, as someone who had friends who turned out to be not so great, don't feel like the spent time with them before your boyfriend was wasted. Were you happy with them? Did you have fun? Don't think of it as wasted time then. Just time with people who turned out not so great. I'm not saying to forgive them, forgive yourself. I'm just saying don't regret or be angry with yourself for having a good time with people who turned out to not be as nice as you thought. Enjoy your memories and don't let them taint them or you'll live in regret. Edit. Thanks for the awards, kind stranger. This is something I tell myself when I'm struggling sometimes. I'm so glad that it's helped other people too. And OP says, "Thanks, I'll try." You get to start 2021 with a nice, fresh, and clean slate with less drama and garbage in your life. I know it probably doesn't feel like it right now, but I 100% guarantee you that this is actually a great blessing in disguise. Your ex-boyfriend and his friends are crappy birds flocking together. Not even going to talk about the morals of that one guy who didn't cheat because he's guilty by association and didn't do the right thing. I don't know if anything changed between you and the girls who the boys cheated on. Sometimes women bond and have great friendships when something this crappy happens to them, especially with a cheating pact. Honestly, I've heard of pregnancy pacts, but cheating? Wow, that's a new low for cheaters. It's better finding out now than to find out years down the line that your boyfriend was cheating and continued to cheat. You've wasted enough time with him already. Don't let his stupidity plague your mind. Chin up and walk forth. Show him you can do much better than him. I hope the cheater's parents find out how horrible their child had turned out. Must be a disappointing Christmas family gathering later. Hopefully you get a clean bill of health and get wrapped in happiness soon, like a burrito. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry. I remember this post and how negative some people seem to get towards you for being a bit frustrated that your boyfriend was excluding you from nights out with your friends group. I'm sorry it turned out to be even crapper than you thought. But the silver lining is the a-hole is out of your life forever, and you won't spend your life with him second-guessing yourself and wondering if you're going crazy for being suspicious. Good for you for trusting your instincts and not letting him act as if you were the crazy a-hole. So you've lost crappy friends. You will find new, better ones. Most people aren't as terrible as them. Posted by user Migachi, titled, "Would I be the a-hole for not telling my in-laws that we will be moving out of their place until last minute? I, 28 female, lived rent-free with my husband and 2 kids in a 2-bed flat that is owned by my husband's parents. This has obviously been amazing because we've been able to save, and we're in a prime location for work and school. The problem came in when my husband's parents moved down the road from us. They used to live a 2-hour drive away, but decided they wanted to be closer to grandkids. All of this would be fine, except one, we are very private and don't see much of any family. We did make them aware that it didn't matter if they lived down the road, we would not be seeing them more than we already did, but they're not happy about it now they have moved. 2, my husband's mother is mentally unwell, but undiagnosed. She has outbursts and usually calls and texts us saying horrible things. 3, my in-laws use money and possessions as a way to control their kids. 4, my husband's sister, 35 female, lives with his parents and she has bipolar. She's not on medication or even signed up with a doctor and is very aggressive. She has come to our place and tried to force her way in more than once this year, and last time that happened about 2 months ago, and she ended up shouting at me in front of the neighbors and telling us that we had to get out of her flat and she will be calling lawyers. After that interaction with his sister happened, we decided we needed to move out. We're tired of having this place held over us, and we need to take back control. We found a 4-bed house that we can afford not too far from where we are now, and we are set to move in mid-October. We've told his parents that we will be moving out after the incident happened, but otherwise we've not brought it up. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't tell them that we've found a place until after we have moved, bearing in mind that we're living in their flat? I don't blame you in the slightest for getting away from those people. That's a trip and a half that you've experienced dealing with that crazy family, and any sane person would be out of that door as anonymously and swiftly as humanly possible. Don't feel bad that you jump ship as soon as you do. Your family comes first and you guys deserve safety. Your mother-in-law having undiagnosed and untreated mental illness is just bad news all round. That's a serious danger to you and your family that you shouldn't have to deal with. No wonder you were happy with keeping the visits to a minimum, because I would too. Using money and possessions to control your kids is another huge red flag. I feel like no normal family seeks to control kids. Maybe in other people's experiences that's a normal thing, but I don't think it should be, plain and simple. Sure, they're gonna be pissed that you escaped them, but that sounds like a them problem, not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Mera1506 says, not the a-hole. They sound toxic AF. Some real boundaries need to be set and stuck with, or they'll walk all over you. That's what we are doing. They've gotten away with a lot over the years, and we let a lot of it go because they have helped financially, and we don't feel like we can say anything. Just not worth it anymore, not now the kids are seeing the toxic behavior themselves. Not the a-hole. Sounds like you guys aren't close to them anyways. They might decide to move to the same area if you guys tell them too early. And OP replies, we actually are usually close because they're great-grandparents. I am worried that they will move closer to us again, so don't really want them to know the new address for a while. I say do whatever is best for your family. If that means keeping the address a secret for a while, then go ahead. I'll say not the a-hole. And Kikiva says, not the a-hole. You already said that it would be happening, so no need. Also, the reason you normally give warning is so the rental income stream isn't interrupted. But if you're not paying in the first place, that ceases to be an issue. And OP replies, that's what I thought. They wouldn't be missing out on any money with us leaving. Only thing is, they would still need to get the place ready for new tenants. It sounds like you notified them after the last incident with sister-in-law and gave enough notice from my reading. The only hang-up might be that the notice was not in writing and you didn't give a specific move-out date. Just make sure the place is cleaned thoroughly and in good repair after you move out, since it was rent-free. I would go as far as shampoo carpets and repaint walls given the consideration, as these are typical landlord's to-dos after a move-out. Document as such with video, especially if you think they would be upset and cause trouble. And OP replies, I don't think they knew we were serious, but we definitely did tell them, and it was via text, so does that count as in writing? We've already started the cleanup and recently painted. A lot of things are broken and have been for a long time. We tell them about it, but they never do anything, and we don't feel like we're in a position to keep asking. We have fixed a lot ourselves since living here. I very much doubt they will have any tenants after us, to be honest. They also have a bungalow that they moved into for about a year before they realized it was too small, and that has sat empty for 2 years now. And now on to the update. So we finally moved in a few weeks ago. It was later than expected, but pleased that we're in for Christmas. The new landlords are lovely, and I've never had this much space in my life. The kids don't know what to do with themselves. Everyone was very helpful in the last post, so much appreciated to everyone that commented. On to the update. I was still unsure about whether or not to tell them, and spoke with my husband many times about it. He was very against telling them because he was unsure about how they would react, and as he put it, they are not normal, so we cannot treat this like a normal situation. So in the end, we decided not to tell them. I was worried they'd see us driving in a U-Drive van around, but luckily we weren't spotted and the move went smoothly. Once we had moved, my husband tried to call, but his mum was avoiding him and hanging up. He spoke to his brother Steve about it, and it turns out Steve had set up a Zoom call for their sister Samantha, the sick one that lives with his parents, with a doctor. Unsure what kind of doctor, who basically had told them that she needed medication. Duh. And my husband's mum thought he was calling to gang up on her about it. Very long story short, she eventually picked up the phone and my husband told her that we're moving out in 2 days, which is today. You guys, she was so happy. She was really excited for the extra space for the kids, saying all of the things she should have said. We've invited her and my father-in-law over for Christmas Eve for a socially distanced drink in the new place. All good, right? Nope. Now the messages have started about how we have taken the grandkids away. She wouldn't have moved here, and she may as well move away now because we never see her, and we need to come to theirs as well for Christmas. After seeing whatever we want is fine with her because, pandemic. And it's not fair on my eldest son, Oscar. My mum gets to see us whenever she wants. Quote, she doesn't. And she's going to give Oscar's toys that she has at her place to a nice young couple that had come over. Obviously a lie, etc., etc., etc. If history is anything to go by, the phone calls will start up soon and the abusive messages. I think it's safe to say we've made the right decision in not telling them until we'd actually moved in. We're enjoying the drama far away, and we're not worrying about locking the doors and having them turn up, which is just wonderful. Happy holidays, everyone. Now in the comments, Practical Heart 7287 says, cut them off, go no contact, and your life will be so much better. I know, but it's my husband's parents and ultimately his decision. My son also loves them. If they start the mental mind games, or whatever they do with your son, he will be better off without them. Yeah, I know. I always keep a close eye on them with him, and he's aware that Gran can be dramatic. There's ways that you can point out their behavior to your kids to insulate them from them. I've said things to my kids like, gifts that come with strings attached aren't gifts. They're obligations, and if someone won't hear your no, they don't have your best interests at heart. With the way your mother-in-law is talking, I would say things to your kids like, if someone is being manipulative and trying to make you feel bad, they are doing that to make themselves feel better, not to make you feel better. People that care about you usually want the best for you. If something is yours, it's not okay for someone else to give it away. General boundary and autonomy stuff. And OP replies, that's really good wording. You put it simply but in depth. Very nice. I think I will use these. Thank you for your input. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.